Well,
For 90.
yes.
I'm John. Nice to meet you.
It's my husband, John.
Nice to meet you.
My mother's cousin,
It's
Sid.
hard for me to see good to see you because I don't.
Well, I'm so good looking it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, in that case, I wish I could see you. I live next door.
Oh, okay.
Late 18,
That's good.
it'll be 1880s or something like that, so.
I think that's right. That sounds right, yeah.
Richard Keller.
Hi, Richard. I'm John Skolitz. I'm Adele's husband.
That's my husband.
That's all right, it's okay.
Thank
Not a
you.
problem. Not a problem.
Maybe a problem for her, but not for me.
That's for you, all right, good. Good enough. But, this is where I was born in a room on that corner over
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah, and, we lived here, we lived in this house. This is the parlor, that was the dining room, and that was my grandfather's rooms. And I had an aunt and uncle who lived in these two rooms. This house only has 8 rooms. No bathrooms. So, oh, okay. All right. Okay. Think we'll give you these a little bit later. We're gonna
Okay.
get the gang, I thought we'd get everybody together to tell you a little bit about the history of the place.
Absolutely.
You have a chance to walk around and look around and ask questions and questions answered. And then you can go downstairs. The original dining room for this house is downstairs. And there is a wine cellar attached. And so the original kitchen for this house was back under the oaks in the back. The food was cooked away, brought in, right next to the dining room. There was a butler's pantry, and then there was a dining room downstairs with a wine cellar next to it. So,
Okay, well, before you tell us too much, we'll get everyone together.
We've get everybody together, then take a chance to look around, and then we'll, let you all got people all over the place now.
Yeah.
But, the old house is kind of battered. I haven't put this because not for most of the termites. And they ate up the damn floor. And they were brought here, when they made a movie here, and they brought up some lumber and stuff from from New Orleans, and they brought the damn termites with them. So, when you have that kind of a problem,
Yeah.
and it took us 10 years to get rid of those damn termites.
Wow.
So, and we kept telling the damn people who were treating the property for the termites, oh no, that's not Formosans, oh no. I said, well, I don't know. They eat up the place. You can see, look what they did to that door frame right there. Yeah, so. Yeah, but we lived here, like I said. My dad and mom and I had those 2 rooms on the far side. And I had an uncle, had his wife, and they lived here. And my grandfather ran the plantation. And when you get a chance, you walk around the porch, you get in the back, you can look out into the fields and see, just like my grandfather could look out in the back and see his cane fields. And he grew sugar cane. And when I was a kid growing up, he was raising rice. And one year he made a good crop and was able to harvest it and ship it to a warehouse, and they couldn't sell it. And see, one of the problems he had was that he wanted his children to know that if he got the jam to pay the taxes, he may need their help. But my grandfather was a guy, evidently was very important to him was education. So,
we're sisters, yeah.
my dad was the oldest, and your grandfather was almost the youngest. And he sent them to boarding school, Catholic boarding school in Mississippi. St.
Stanislaus?
We were lucky. I mean, we live a long way.
Stanislaus?
Santa Claus,
A
yeah.
lot
And,
of, 85% of our town didn't.
They went to school there
Old trees.
when they were, I guess, in elementary school or whatever, till they graduated. And then my dad graduated from LSU in 1903.
Oh, yeah. So we
And
were
your
very lucky.
grandfather was a couple of years behind. And when my dad graduated, he came here, he was a mechanical engineer, but he's also did a lot of work with architecture. He did a lot of repairs on this house. He built barns, he built all kinds of stuff for the plantation. He did a lot of that kind of work. And he planted the pecan trees. There were lots of pecan trees here. All up and down here. Starting with the hurricanes, gradually taking care of the trees. This is all that's left, a couple of years. So and my dad, when he graduated, he got a job as doing engineering in Texas. But my grandfather, after a couple of years, called him and said, "Look, I need your help. You have to come back to the plantation." And he quit his job and came back to work here on the plantation for board and room. That's all he never got paid. He did all this work, and then he was living here and working on the plantation doing repairs.
Mary Ann.
Well, for crying out loud. That's the rest of the family.
So good to see you.
Hey, thank you very much. It's good to see me still standing up.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you what, I'm not only standing up, I'll stand up for myself.
Good for
That's
you.
against a lot of ladies. I have to tell you, there's a lot of women, you know, and figure that, well, you know, they negotiate. Ladies negotiate. They don't tell me that they tell people how to get things done, but ladies negotiate. I found that out. Took me a long time to realize that. But that you live your life with women, then you have to learn to get along. And the problem is, they're going to negotiate. You have to realize, hey, how to work out.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're getting all the history here on tape?
He was hoping everyone would just gather together and he'd talk more about it.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll have to gather up everybody.
Yeah, that's a good
But-
idea.
My grandfather was originally an overseer on plantations before he bought this place. And he, as an overseer, he was on a horseback, so he would work with the people working in the fields. And he rode a horse up until the day he died. In fact, on the day he died, he rode his horse, he came in, he got the feeling bad, came in, got up on the porch over here, and just died right there.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know.
That's a good way to go.
Well, yeah, I guess it is. But hey, whatever it was, you know, he did all right. And he ran this damn place on his own. And he educated his children. And he had one daughter. She graduated from the Academy of Sacred Heart in New Orleans. So, you know, they all got educated. And, you know, I never knew what type of an education he got. But I think he may have graduated from a school across the river in St. John Parish. But my grandfather came and moved here from St. John. See, everybody, your grandfather and my grandfather were born in St. John Parish. They weren't born in his house. Only Uncle Richard was born here.
Okay.
So, and like I told them, I was born in that room on the corner. No bathrooms. You know, as I said those days, they put a tub in in their bedroom, and they brought a couple of buckets of water, and the kids got in. The first one got in, got washed off. The second kid got in, same water, you know, one after the other. Couldn't afford to change the water up because you had to haul it from downstairs.
Sure. A lot of trouble.
Yeah. And so when I was about 5, I guess, my mother told my father, said, we can't live in 2 rooms, and we had 3 kids because my sister was born there. So, and my brother Teddy was the godfather of Mary Ann.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And so my dad said, well, you know, I can't leave the plantation. I've got to stay here for my father. So he bought 2 acres from his father and built a house over here where my sister still lives.
Ah.
And so we lived here all this time. And, but for us, growing up here on the plantation was a lot of fun. My brother and I, 2 little boys, could run to the place. Nobody ever worried too much about us because all of the guys, most of the black men working for my grandfather, they all knew to keep an eye on us. And so, you know, we had to run to the place.
You have some great trees to climb on.
Well, but we had fruit trees, we had fig trees, peach trees, we had even orange trees in those days.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know,
Pecan trees?
peach trees, and we found out that, well, we could go out and eat that kind of fruit, stuff like that, as long as we didn't let other people know. So, anyway, it's a fun place to grow up.
I'll bet. What was this building out back? There's still some bricks.
That was the kitchen.
Okay.
See, in those days, that was a kitchen, because next to it was a big cistern, because that was the water, and the water came off the roof
Okay.
from the gutters. There's a well out back, but we never used the well water, I guess maybe to wash vegetables and stuff like that, but no for cooking or not for bathing, anything. That water was for the animals that lived in the yard.
I see.
That's where the cows were kept, which were milked at the back. There used to be a big barn in the back.
Uh-huh.
There were, I planned to, told Mary Ann, I was going to bring pictures. Well, what so happens that a couple of weeks ago, I owned a house that's between the road and the levee in the corner.
I see.
Well, when my first wife died, she left her community property to my children. So they already own half. So I told them about a month or so ago, I'm going to turn over my half of the community to them. And which I did. And my youngest daughter said she was going to move into the house. And she's been in the process for 2 months, taking the house, completely redoing it.
Oh my goodness.
And so all that stuff is now out of the house, and she's having painted, she's having all kinds of people working on the damn place, but everything is now stuck in a storage pod.
I see. Well, we'll have to come back and see that at some point.
Well, no, I'll try to get copies.
Oh, okay, good.
Send you all
Would
stuff
love
like
to,
that.
love to have that.
Where do you live?
I live in Virginia, Strasburg, which is just south of Winchester in northwest Virginia.
Okay. How is the weather? You all didn't got too much of the bad weather up there.
No, not too bad. Some high winds, but not too bad. My sister Mary Ann lives in New Jersey, and John's parents live in New Jersey. They got hit pretty hard.
It just
But did they lose the house, or they just got some damage?
mostly just tree damage, nothing into the house. A couple trees hit the house, but they hit the chimney.
All right.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
they just got power yesterday.
Okay.
So they've been out for a week.
So they got the power yesterday?
Yesterday.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, that's one thing you learn. Power is important.
Yes, that's very true.
It's civilization today.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me some time ago, what do you think is most important if you live out in a country like this? I said, the most important thing to us was to get water in the house. When you got running water in the house, that was before even before electricity and anything else, that was much more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that the former governor of the state of Virginia came to speak at my mother's funeral?
Is that right?
Yeah, George Allen.
Well, you know, I hadn't talked to Cherie. I talked to Cherie about a month, last year. I called her up. Mary Ann had given her the phone number, and I called, and I told her hello and all the stuff, and she said, "Oh, my cousin Dick." We hadn't talked, but I hadn't talked to her in a long time.
Yeah.
So. But it's nice to know. It's good to see her.
Yeah.
Hey, I knew her father, and I knew her when she was growing up, and she and John played here when they were kids.
I'll bet.
Because when your grandfather, we were talking about this a while ago, he was an engineer, he worked for somebody, all of a sudden he'd be out of a job. Hey, he and Isma would come here, they lived in those 2 rooms on the corner, and John and Cherie would be here.
Uh-huh.
So for a while.
Yeah, she told us that at one point. There's a picture of her on the plantation property with a
That's
rabbit.
right. And John was, hey, he played with us as a kid, so got a chance to look around.
Yeah.
Well, let me go and see if anybody else is going to be doing things out here or what their plans are.
Okay.
Any questions before that? I'll be talking to her about the family and everything else. Here's the card. See this? This is a picture of the plantation. This is available to have out of the, historic thing out of our west pieces. Oh, okay. And these are pictures that you can, get them all in the computer. Oh, sure, yeah. Well, I have enough to pass everything. So, but I'll let you know, when you have a computer, you get that all, you get a copy of the structure, it was all done during the years when,
Library of Congress.
yeah.
Yes, I have the blueprints.
Yeah, and you also rotate it forward, rotate the handle forward as you're pushing it in.
When I went to see the guy had a picture printed, he said, I'm here.
I mean, that is how you do it.
Good, you did a big picture.
Can you just put it in the back? Why, yeah, we're talking.
You were able to rotate the handle, but then it doesn't fall. Are you able to rotate the handle forward?
This is when we get a television.
And I can get a tank. And once we get a tank that high, then that will become we'll have water up on the porch. And then we can have water.
I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of history here.
Washing and everything else.
Okay.
As the roofs were washed every time it rained, it took all of that water and whatever else it was.
I don't know what he's talking about.
You see that?
The front
Where?
windows on top.
That
Where'd that come
thing
from?
right
all
there.
boarded
See?
up.
It's not
Really?
Yeah,
in the
'cause
first
glass
one.
broken off, so they just put
And there
wood
was
up
no
there.
smoke anywhere. And then
Where'd that come from?
Front there.
and then the next one has
Take
it
a
too.
picture of
What the
them,
heck
so,
is that?
you know,
What
and
the
you
heck?
see the house.
Yeah, in a different spot.
And
the
he's
heck?
snapping.
No,
Whoever was
come on.
snapping.
What would it be?
Huh? No, somebody was.
That's
taking-
insane.
Okay.
Let's see if we can. Here, get in the shade here. Let's see if I can get that on camera. Hold on a sec.
Linda, we need, we need
Okay,
Brian's number.
so
Tilt it. Get the glare out of it.
that
Tilt it downward. A little more.
I know.
And I tell everybody
You
that
got
you
it?
come and
Okay, now go back to the one
okay.
previous.
So look, no smoke, no nothing,
taking pictures, just keep snapping, cause you might get a,
and then
Move it over. Now look at this. Now zoom
Boom.
into that.
she got some.
Zoom in. Look at that.
look at that.
What the heck?
That is some kind of smoky, and it's in the next one moved over a little bit to the left,
That is so weird.
but same shape. It kind of looks like a hand, doesn't it? Like a.
Is there not a reflection or anything?
How could it be on
Oh my
what?
goodness. You gotta send me those. So I can, well, that's Abby's. And that's
Yeah,
on yours.
Abby's.
Yeah, send me that. I can put the video with it. That's bizarre.
That's really creepy.
Jeez.
In the daytime.
Okay.
So that's a common phenomenon that we saw in that picture.
Oh, yeah, people come here, you know, and Bill's here and I'm here, I usually.
I'm gonna videotape you telling this story.
No.
This is for the
I don't like
family.
camera, no, I look terrible.
Okay. Anyway, what's
And they, you know, bring the camera and then I tell what I know of the place and all. And they get in the wine room. A friend of mine's her grandson went in the wine room taking pictures. He said, "Ooh, it's cold here." I said, "Start snapping."
like snapping your fingers?
No,
Oh,
camera.
okay.
I said, just click all over. He got a picture of a man on the brick wall.
All right, I gotta get this. Come on, I'm ready to go.
Huh?
You gotta show me the guy.
Huh? No, but he got and
You really got pictures of some?
it was like a chunky man and he had like a some overall type thing and you could see one was down a strap, you know,
That's
on the brick wall. And he had gray hair and all, and beard.
that's crazy. That is crazy.
And like I was telling her, my grandson took pictures of himself and up on top of the roof, the
Uh-huh.
three windows. But in the front, they were boarded up
Uh-huh.
because the glass was
Right.
broken off. And taking pictures of himself, in
Uh-huh.
the background of the house.
Uh-huh.
Got a picture of a guy like this on the wood.
No way.
He had dark hair, had a tie on, you could see, and he's like this. And snap, 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 and it faded.
Well, she caught something on her
Yeah.
camera. That's what was up.
That's what I
So
tell
where's
him
the one?
always. I said, you might catch something on you.
You're like, oh, it's no big deal. It happens all the time.
Well,
to me,
I'm,
like,
I'm into ghosts and all that.
oh, okay.
I'm into all
But
that.
that was,
I have seance upstairs.
oh, jeez.
But I have to tell. This was, I don't know if you've been through.
No, I haven't been through here yet.
Okay. This was that was the kitchen.
Oh, right
That's
there.
all.
Oh, okay.
But it used to be in between the oak trees over there.
Oh, I see.
But as it got older, it was harder for them to walk and all, so they moved it up closer then.
Ah.
And this was, I think, like the warmer kit, like to keep the food warm.
Oh, I see.
And that was the dining room,
Ah.
right here. It's that old,
Oh, jeez.
this old blade thing. It still works too.
Wow. Sharpening, I guess, sharp their knives or whatever.
And these are marble tiles. I think imported from France or Italy or something. And we give parties here.
Really?
Oh yeah, I have a granddaughter that's in love with this place, and she always, her birthday and all that, give birthday parties here.
So where's the wine cellars in here?
It's dark in here, so
It's okay. Well, this camera's
just
pretty.
watch your step.
Okay.
See, we gave Mr. Keller his 90th birthday party
Oh.
here. These are, I don't know if you can see it.
Good. Yeah.
I use these for Halloween
Oh.
at my house.
Oh.
But this came from Convicts, the movie they did here,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. That one there.
Let me, oh, here we go. Got several more like that.
That's neat.
Huh?
I'll have to see the movie now. I've never seen the movie. Was it any good? The movie?
Yeah, I liked it,
So
But
this
watch
one-
your step, because like I said, it's dark in here. I usually bring a flashlight. And this is where they, see, it's got the holes for the wine bottles, see?
Oh yeah. This camera's really good, so I can still
Oh.
see with all this stuff.
And this is when, oh yeah, they got some,
I wonder what that was for.
all kind of tools, like old stuff in
Wow, this
up
is
here. And this is where that I told you about, he came back here, right here, and he says, told his grandmother, he said, oh, it's chilly back here. And it's hot as hell here that day. And it was on that wall there, got that man.
That's crazy. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
But this was, like I said, the wine room, and I think it's storage too,
Mhm.
because you got the vent.
Yeah, I see. It was a little cooler in here, I guess, because it was kind of closed up. Wow.
Just watch your step.
Okay. That was. All right, if you're in here, show yourself so I can get you on camera. Come on, come on, come out, come out, wherever you are. Okay, no. Enough, I'm out. It's really cool.
See, they put this wall up too for convicts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just to make, I guess, look more authentic or something,
Is there a room over there too, or
There's a room, and it's just
storage?
got tools and stuff.
Wow, look at this tree. Amazing. Did you see the pictures Abby took? Did you see those pictures Abby took? She took 3 pictures in a row, and in 2 of the pictures there's this white cloud, and it's. Did you see it? It blew me away. It's so bizarre. And she's like the woman. She goes, "Oh yeah, that happens all the time." We had one guy come, and there was a picture. There's a guy up on the roof, and there was nobody there. I'm like, "Oh boy, it's beautiful." I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask them about that.
My mother always liked her cousin Dick a lot.
Yeah, it seemed like a nice guy. Wow. Yeah, these are just incredible. How old are these, huh?
Really?
I just thought it was terrific.
I said to my son a week ago that someone in the family was coming. He said, why? He said, did a light suddenly go on and they decided, oh, we're going to go see the plantation. I said,
Actually, thinking about it for years. I mean, really, my wife, we've talked about this for like 10, 15 years and just never got a chance to do it. And it just sort of we figured we'd better do it soon, and they all got together. It was supposed to be just Adele and Sis, Rosemary, and then someone goes, oh, we'll go. And before you know it, everyone wanted to come. So.
it worked out very well.
Oh yeah, it worked out great.
Are any of these your kids?
My daughter Abby is with her boyfriend somewhere.
Walking around?
Yeah.
And where do you live?
In Virginia, Northwest Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. It's beautiful over there. It's beautiful. So.
And how is your father doing?
My dad, well, you talk about Adele's dad? Adele's father, my wife's father, Donald.
He was saying this is mud with moss. They mixed mud and moss together for insulation.
Wow. You see the horse-hairs?
Yeah, there's probably horsehair in there.
That's the moss? It's not horsehair?
Well, it may be horsehair, but it was generally it was.
Almost looks like horsehair, actually. But yeah, it could be.
Did you see the oaks in the back? Yes, you got cameras in there.
They're amazing. Amazing. And my daughter took some pictures of some apparition on the porch here, which was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. She took 3 pictures of this, like 1, 2, 3, and there's 2 of them have this white cloud.
Today, just
Yeah.
now. Oh, well, that's what they were talking about, the ghosts.
Yeah. I never believe in ghosts, but I have to say, those pictures are pretty.
Did she show them to Linda? Did she show Linda?
I don't know, which is Linda? Linda's.
Linda's
Yeah,
with the
right.
stripe down her pants.
Oh, I don't think.
My brother.
Oh, I'm not sure. I was talking to her about it, but that's bizarre. Apparently,
Where's your daughter? She's downstairs?
Yeah. You guys see the pictures. It's just,
She is showing Linda.
I'm not sure if Linda's.
I said it was still in the box. Oh yeah.
She's right here. She was interested in the picture that you took.
Oh. Did you show them to Linda?
Yeah. What?
So what he did here, can you imagine what a job that was? The original ceiling of this house was to the level of the transoms. But my grandfather, when he graduated from LSU in 1903, came back, he raised all the ceilings in this entire house 3 feet. Because the original house ceiling came down to where that mirror is there, and above the tops of the doors. And every door and every window in the house has a transom for ventilation. Now, he didn't put that in. That was put in by the original builders.
You hear that, Abby?
What?
The ceiling used to be right there where it changes color.
Oh yeah. Were there 2 floors?
The rest would be the attic.
Oh, okay.
It was part of the attic, yeah. But he went in, he cut all the supporting beams, everything else, for the ceilings, everything else. And he did that when he was about 22, maybe 20 years old.
Why did he do that?
So that's the kind of a job that.
Did he just want
Your
the
grandfather was a different type of an engineer. He didn't do that kind of work. But my father was expected to do all that, and his father had to come back to the house to do these kinds of things.
It's impressive.
Well, it's good to see this.
That's right there where that line is above the doors. And they raised the whole roof 3 feet.
But you notice the patrol. We didn't get any performance this year because the storm which came through here really whipped the trees. You could see some of them over here.
I see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of pecan trees here, a lot of pecan trees on the driveway. There was another lot of pecan trees behind that line. So there were a lot of pecan trees on this. They walked. Now, you know, I planted a few with a long ago, but they're just getting started.
Yeah. How long does it take? It probably takes.
Well, no, see, these are grafted trees, so we had pecans on some of these trees this year.
Oh, wow.
The little ones.
Uh-huh.
But I think I whipped up to
Gotcha.
it was one of those things. So it's, you know, it just got put up with that kind of. And see, the problem which we had here was that the storm we had came through. It came out of the Gulf. When it got in here, it got blocked by a high up in Arkansas. So it stayed around here almost an extra 24 hours. And so it kept going around and whipping these trees and raining and wind and all that stuff. So it did a lot of extra damage. That's why we got a lot of extra damage from water, because it pushed the water in the lake back here into off the banks, some of the towns up here. But we have the levee, so we do have this problem. So.
Who farms the sugar cane now?
We have a guy who contracts it with us.
Gotcha.
We get enough from the sugar cane. It pays the maintenance and repair and the taxes and that kind of stuff. See, we have a lot of owners here on this property.
Yes, how many?
Well, hey, we have a guy who owns, two guys I know that own 1% or less. We have three that own 3%. We have one who owns 5%. One who owns, we have a guy, there's a family now of about 6 to 8 people. Their share is 20%. I have 25%. And my daughter, that you met here, her husband owns 35%. He's the majority owner.
I see.
But you know, you got to get everybody to agree
Right.
to
That's
do
hard.
anything.
Yes.
And so what it is, all of the rest of the owners let us take care of it. Cut the grass, make sure we take care of it. They don't bother to do a thing. All they do is that they just own a share.
I see.
And they can come to use it if they want to, whatever.
That's a lot of work.
Well, yes. But, you know, I took over from your Uncle Richard, who was the youngest brother, if your grandfather's younger brother. And I've heard a story that your father, your grandfather, expected him to not get married because in case he needs my grandfather needs somebody to help pay the taxes.
Ah.
And he never seemed to be too eager to get married. In fact, he never got married till he was in his 60s. But anyway, and that was a situation. I don't think he was. I don't even think he thought he was helping somebody when he married this woman. It wasn't a good decision. But anyway, no, it's an interesting. You take a look at this. I'm sure we played that taking over all time.
We did go to Burma Street, but not to tour around yet. We didn't get it. We didn't even get it until Thursday night. So yes, we just did that. Tomorrow, next year.
Some of these people, they got married, these young ladies. I talked to a gal the other day. She came to see me, in fact, it was this week. She said, "You remember me?" You know, I haven't seen this lady in 50 years. She comes to talk to me, "You remember me?" Well, when she told me her name, then I knew who she was. You know, I said, "How's your brother?" and all that stuff, so I knew the members of the family, but, you know, these young ladies, when they graduated from high school, they told me that I'm graduating at the end of May, by the end of June, I'm gonna be married. And they were marrying guys who were gonna go to work for Shell and stuff like that, who were right out of high school. So, you know, it was opportunity to go into life at a different times. Things have changed, you know, today. But I was telling you something you would be interested in. I was telling you, I guess it's your cousin. When I got married and started teaching, my son, you met, is 63. I have a son who will be 62 in December. My daughter you met will be 61 in January. And I have another daughter who will be 60 in March.
Oh my goodness.
I married a lady who I met her when I was in the Army, and she was a dietitian, and she was in an Army General Hospital. And she had been in the service during World War II. She went in England, and she ended up in France with this outfit.
Oh wow.
And so I met her later on when I was at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. But anyway, so she was 30 years old when we got married. She said she never expected she'd ever have children. I guess she had, you know, she'd had a couple of romances and all that kind of stuff before she met me. Hey, when we celebrated our first anniversary, we had a child 2 months old.
That sound familiar?
So you see,
Yes.
That's what it is. And so, you know, here I was in college, work on a master's degree at LSU, living in student housing on a GI Bill for about 2 years. Then I came back to live here, got a job here. We had to find a place to live, and hey, with 2 kids, 3 kids, so hey.
You didn't live here on the plantation then?
Oh no, I lived, we left the plantation when I was 5 and moved across to, my father moved over here. But no, I grew up in that house over here till I finished high school. Then I went to college, and then I came back, and after that, I lived around here for a while, and then I went into the Army, and then I was born for 7 years.
How long has it been since someone lived here?
Oh, my daughter and her husband lived here. My other daughter and her husband lived here. My sister's daughter lived here for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this people lived here until just recently, until the termites took over.
Yeah.
Once the termites got in here, it destroyed all this place, and nobody could live here. So we haven't had that kind of work done. So it's been done. Well, we've enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the visit.
I sure did, thank you.
You'll have to come back.
We will.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand they have a big to-do here in April.
Yeah, well, the sheriff has a big thing here, and the best part about it, he calls it a fundraiser. He charges $50 a person. It's open. All you can eat and drink, and then he has a band and all that stuff. And you help yourself.
Well, good. We may come back for that. Right?
I'm good, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, and if you come on with us, we'll let you in the back door. You don't have to pay the $50.
There you go. Terrific.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, growing up around here, see, when this house, when my mother told me, my mother's from New Orleans, and that's another story, you know, another story. How my dad met my mother, but anyway, the story I got was that my mother won a trip to Europe selling subscriptions to the newspaper. And on her trip to Europe, it so happened that she was on that same trip with my Aunt Marie, my dad's sister. And I guess my Aunt Marie told her, look, while I live on a plantation, when we get back to Louisiana, won't you come and visit? And the story, I don't know all the details, but that all happened long before my time. Evidently, she came up and she met my dad, and they got married.
That was it, huh?
And so my mother was one of 3 girls. She had 2 sisters. They always lived in New Orleans. So once she moved up to Harville, she lived in the country. Like I said, she lived in 2 rooms on the corner.
It's a big change
Yeah, well,
from New Orleans.
but yeah, there's lots of stories. So, ma'am, you got somebody who take care of those children?
My husband's taking care of them, yes.
This weekend. She's very much Sharita's granddaughter. She's very smart. She went to Princeton.
Princeton. Well, good for you. It's good to everybody needs to have an education.
That's right. Well, she got it. She got a good one.
My smartest child, by far, decided when she was out of high school that she would not go to college because she would decide she was going to marry this guy. And she ended up marrying him. And he's a guy who had a heart. He never had that type of ambition to go to college, in other words. He was glad to get out of high school and all that kind of stuff. But he knew he was going to be successful. I'll tell you what, they went through about 20 years of hard times. But today, he is very, very successful. He made a couple of $1 million on one job that he did. He used that money to invest in all kinds of property and everything else. They're doing very well.
Well, good. I like those stories.
They have 3 children, 3 boys, and one of whom is married and has a little girl. So she has just as one little grandchild. The other 2 boys, one of them was in the Marines. He done all kinds of things. The other one, the youngest one, he's another one. He's had problems with a learning disability, but he's really sharp. So as a result, I told me the other day he was going to be financially secure. I said, when? He said, well, when I'm 32. I said, how old are you now? He said, 27. I said,
5 years,
good luck. You've already set it up, huh?
Right, yeah, I want to know his secret.
Well, I can tell you, he's already hold a small business, which he sold.